Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Truth Be Bold. Today we have a really lovely guest called Adnan-Mustafa Hasanagic. He's one of our BOLD alumni members from 2021, who's been a part of the BOLD network for about 2.5 years now. And Adnan, welcome. It's so lovely to see you again. And tell us what you've been up to these days.
Firstly, happy to be here, Anya. And has it been like 2.5 years? Jeez,
Yeah.
it's been a while. It's like I remember like New York, like it was yesterday. So basically, I have been working on mostly on software solutions. Like beginning from 2020, I decided to build a solution in the edtech space called Eureka Zone. It was a platform for informal education, basically a place where young people could find resources on topics they can't learn in school and that aren't covered in schools. For example, like for maybe like first aid or how to communicate better, how to present yourself in front of others, in front of the public, some self-help, mental health resources, something like that. That was my first platform, my first touch with software and like coordinating a team and then building out a software solution that has like technical issues and all of that stuff. So that was my first project. That was more of like a non-for-profit idea that I wanted to turn for profit, but ended up being just a non-profit project. Expanding on that, I decided to build another thing for a program that I entered called Innovation Nation. Me and my team brainstormed ideas what our local community wants and what is there a need for some other software solution. And we came up with an idea to build a dog walking and sitting platform or an app that enables dog walkers and sitters like locally, like students, high schoolers to apply and see if there's opportunities for dog walking and sitting. And on the other side, dog owners could have a chance to find dog walkers and sitters in their local area and maybe chat about how can they arrange sitting or walking. That was a project that I worked on like for half a year and tried to turn profitable. We had an interesting marketing campaign and things started to roll up. We had uh, 5 or 6 people in the team, like programmers, marketers, like everything was going well till the market reacted to our idea and then we didn't see the reactions we had hoped for and kind of that idea fell through
Mhm.
like months after. That's basically like few of my ideas. And Anya, I'm
Just to kind of add on that, Adnan first applied with Eureka back in like 2021. He went through the Bold Fellowship with that idea. Then he was a Bold mini mentor last year, and I remember discussing Shapa with him. And now he's doing a whole new thing related to mental health and providing these journaling services to people who are therapists. But again, more on that later. Adnan, shifting between these projects and deciding when it's time to close that chapter in your life. Can you tell me what is the process of that and what have been some of the more difficult decisions you had to make?
because I had a lot of projects on my mind generally, like, and only a handful have been realized. So I'm always like in this constant SWOT analysis, like my
Hmm.
own internal SWOT analysis for the people that don't know, like strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and like analyzing those things regarding myself and regarding the projects I have. So basically, there was always a point in the past where I realized, okay, this project right now isn't something that will be profitable or will be feasible in or sustainable in the future, or maybe this isn't something that I thought that will best suit me and my strengths and weaknesses in the moment. It's basically like in my opinion a constant analysis of how can I contribute to the project and how, and most importantly, how can the project or the idea contribute to society or like to the specific target market so they will be incentivized to buy. Unfortunately for me, I haven't found I haven't yet found an idea or like a business model that is sustainable in the way that I hoped it would be.
It actually leads me on to my next question, and it kind of correlates to what you said. So, from what I gather, it's the customer research that you conduct that kind of shifts your attention. What is preventing you from that commitment to one idea? Because so many people have to have iterations of their projects before it's ready to launch, and it maybe doesn't look at as it was intended in the beginning. But you're shifting from, sphere and sectors.
Yeah, the sectors that I tried to like go in are very like different, like education,
Mm.
health, space, dogs, and like animals. So it's very different. Um, the thing that is preventing me, maybe a more technical answer would be like market feedback,
Mhm.
market feedback, because it's I haven't found an idea or a business model where the market reacted positively, and I mean by that they decided like to follow, to apply, to buy. Regarding myself, I haven't found the courage to fully commit to one thing, and that's because it's scary.
Mhm.
It all sounds maybe like interesting when you see it on TikTok or like in Instagram or YouTube. In 10 days I get 10K from this drop shipping system or something. But in real life, you have to make sacrifices. You have to take risk. The majority of people will not be backing you. The only people will that will be backing you maybe if you have like supportive family. Like maybe you don't have that, so you are backing yourself, and everybody is against you in the sense that they think, oh, this person has like four failed things. He started the fifth one. He doesn't go to school. He wants to pursue an entrepreneurship dream, or he sells. I don't know. He doesn't go on vacation. He doesn't go partying on weekends.
The ideal
It's
entrepreneur, the forever grinding entrepreneur.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's scary. It's scary for me because there's a lot of risk, especially like when, I don't know, someone in your family loses a job, or like someone in your family has a health condition that you need to contribute to, like emotionally, financially, or something. You can't then focus on yourself. You have to focus on them, but you can't focus on them if you want to be an entrepreneur and build out your idea.
let's not forget, you're building out a business in Bosnia and Herzegovina. You're building out a business in Western Balkans. Market is relatively fresh, but the risks are huge, and the success rates, people are always hesitant whether they can succeed or not. So, what would be your advice in terms of positioning oneself against or kind of trying to tackle all the limitations you have, trying to build a business in the context you live in?
When you say I'm building out a business in Balkans, that's true, but there are other people that built out the business here. It's not about, I think it's not about building a business, it's about building a startup, especially a tech startup here, because there's room for business here, like for brick and mortar shops, service-based businesses, but building a software that for this market is especially difficult.
Mhm.
And that's a thing that I focused on. If someone watching here was wanting to build software, something that maybe in the Western world or like in the Western market would be going very crazy. Here, people aren't used to as much of like buying subscription-based software, and using software that they paid for. I think it's building self-aware. The most important skills of an entrepreneur are these soft, quick skills and like emotional intelligence, for example, or like self-awareness. Being self-aware of like where you want to be, what is your personal vision, mission, what are you put on this earth for, and like when you define these stuff. For example, I define my like seven core beliefs, and that's interesting. Like when I was in UB, in Buffalo and Bold, like 2.5 years ago, I remember Celine telling us and Dorothy telling us about like core values, and then how they can drive you as an entrepreneur, and that stuck with me. And like I defined my core values, and everything I do, like on the personal front and on a business front, is in accordance to those core values. And when you do that, you will have answers basically come before you even think about them. when I see that something isn't in alignment with my vision or mission, I start to think about, oh, okay, what can I do about it? So that one part. The second part is again market feedback.
Hmm.
If the people that you want to sell the thing to are not willing to buy the thing is worthless because it doesn't have value to them.
Yeah.
If it doesn't have value to your markets, you either have to abandon it or pivot.
What are some of your core values and how do they transpire across all these startups you worked on? And I assume they're the reason why you keep being on this entrepreneurial journey.
There's openness,
Hmm.
creativity, curiosity, ambition, passion, and meaning. Those are intercorrelated or like intertwined because they're all focused on, I think, meaning, especially on like being able to have the freedom to choose and to pursue life. And when I say pursue life, I really mean it because pursuing is an active choice and an activity. You have to have the courage to pursue it and the know-how to pursue it. I learned through all these programs, like how can I contribute to that pursuit of life, of meaning? And when I get the know-how, like the emotional intelligence, the self-awareness, the ability to articulate my thoughts and like think critically, creatively, that is the moment when I saw that, okay, I'm on a mission. It's not about the mission, it's about the vehicle that will bring me to the realization of my mission. It's basically irrelevant which business idea, which vehicle will bring me to the realization of the mission I
Hmm.
set to myself, and the realization, the manifestation of the core values in my life. So that's the most important two things for me.
And it's very much your own journey. But what role do your partners play in it? And by that, I mean, you've had three different business ideas that you worked on with multiple different people. You always work on different projects with old bold alumni. How do you navigate those expectations and how do you navigate responsibilities between them?
The most important thing a person can learn in his life is to communicate properly and in the full sense of that word. I had a lot of partners, like thankfully, had a lot of partners in my business, like in my business ventures ideas, that were willing to help me and to be a part of the team or like the vision that we are building out. And the key thing that I found that helped me bring them in the team, and that the reason that they stayed in the team is the way that I communicated myself, like honestly, truthfully, and the communicated the value. It's important to know how they feel in that process, if their needs are met, if there's something that they didn't understand or they wanted more clarity on. What are they up to in their own lives? Like what are their core maybe values or like beliefs or ideas? How can I help them in their lives, like not selfishly, but like for them, and then when you build that relationship that's based on open communication, it's not just a partner in that startup venture, because
Hmm.
startups fail, like the majority of startups fail, but it's about building the relationship with that person.
Right.
So in another iterations of some other idea, you can phone them or like call them like, oh, what do you think about this? Would you be willing to go into this? Or just for advice, for a consultation. One of the most important, if not the most important thing, like how do you communicate with people and how do you build relationship upon that open communication?
What would be your advice along everything we've just said to somebody thinking about pursuing their startup idea or struggling to get things off the ground? What would be that one thing to keep them going?
It may sound corny maybe, but I think it is corny because it has been repeated on like in Instagram, on like on TikTok like numerous times, but I think it's valuable. The core idea behind it is very valuable. Like it's you have one life, and be authentic. And what do I mean by that? The first thing is find out who you are. Like that's a process. It's not a guaranteed process by birth or by being an age group. You need to find out actively who you are. To do that, you need to try things, to get out of your comfort zone, to build connections with people, to be open to try out new things. That's the first thing. And hopefully with help of other people, with your active pursuit, you can find out what interests you and like what purpose do you have on this floating rock. The second thing, be true to that the things that you found out about yourself. Be true to that and make sure that you live life in accordance to that. When you had those two things figured out, you will have your like action plan or like program of life written out for you. It will be very easy to write out that plan because you know who you are. And maybe that's not an entrepreneur, maybe that's a gardener, maybe that's a politician, maybe that's a gamer or like a banker or something else, you know. If you don't do that, you can fall victim to being unhappy and not
Mm-hmm.
know why you are unhappy. So to sum it up, find out your authenticity and make sure to keep it.
Thank you, Adnan, so much for this today. I'm so excited to see what else you decide to work on, how many more lives you're going to be living soon enough. And guys, if you want to reach out to Adnan, feel free to do so. Thank you, Adnan, and speak to you soon.
Thank you, Anya. Bye, guys.